Hey, welcome. If you're just starting your business journey, whether you're a student or dreaming up your own venture, you've landed in the perfect spot. Think of this as your foundational blueprint, the absolute basics for understanding how any successful business is really built.
So let's just jump right in with a big question. We all know a great idea is where it starts, right? That's the spark. But what really turns that spark into an actual, running, successful business? What's going on under the hood? The best way to picture it is to think of a business like a complex machine. It's not just one single part. It's made up of all these different gears, and each one has a really specific job. And for that machine to actually move forward, all those gears have to be turning together, perfectly in sync. Okay, so let's get into our first set of gears. These are the ones that are all about creating something awesome and then getting it out into the world. This is how your business makes its mark. First up is a big one, marketing. This is basically your company's megaphone. It's how you find your audience, how you tell your story in a way that actually connects, and how you build a brand that makes people say, yeah, I need that. Let's make this real. Take a company like Invisiwear. They make this smart jewelry for safety. They don't just advertise anywhere. They use things like Instagram and Facebook ads to talk directly to the people who are most likely to be interested, young women who care about their safety. It's targeted, it's smart, and it works. All right, the next key gear is operations. Now, if marketing is the megaphone making promises, operations is the engine room that actually delivers on those promises. It's all the behind-the-scenes work that turns your cool idea into a real thing that a customer can hold or experience. Think about a company like Nonspec. They have a huge mission, making high-quality prosthetic limbs that are also affordable for people in underserved areas. That's a massive operational challenge, right? Their genius is figuring out how to keep manufacturing costs way down without sacrificing quality. That is top-notch operations. Okay, let's talk about the fuel for a machine. We're moving on to the gears that handle the money, the absolute lifeblood of any business. How you manage it affects literally every other part of the company. So first there's finance. This is the big picture money strategy. It's about planning your budget, looking into the future, making sure you have enough cash to pay your bills, and, this is a big one, figuring out how to get funding to grow, whether that's a loan or an investor. And look, this doesn't have to be some Wall Street level stuff. It can be as simple as your local coffee shop. They're using their sales numbers to figure out how much coffee to order for next week. And when they want to open a second shop, they use those same numbers to prove they're a good bet for a loan. That's finance in action. Working hand in hand with finance is its super detail-oriented partner, accounting. If finance is about planning for the future, accounting is about keeping a perfect record of the past. It's how you know for sure where every single dollar came from and where it went. For a lot of you starting out, this might look like a freelance designer using some software to keep things straight. It helps them track what they've earned, send out professional invoices, and most importantly, pull everything together so tax time isn't a total nightmare. All right, time for our last set of gears. These are the ones that give the whole machine direction and a vision for the future by leading the people inside it and always pushing to innovate. So let's talk about management. This is the art of steering the ship. It's about setting the destination and making sure every other gear, marketing, operations, finance, is working together to get there. And a huge part of this is human resources, finding the right people and helping them do their best work. A great example here is a social enterprise called Mill City Grows. They run urban farms and their management challenge is unique. They have to coordinate not just employees, but also a whole army of volunteers and seasonal staff to make sure everything runs smoothly. And last but definitely not least, you have research and development, or R&D. You can just think of it as innovation. This is what keeps your machine from getting rusty and outdated. It's about creating what's next and constantly making what you already do even better. So maybe this looks like a startup that's all about sustainable packaging. Their R&D team is in the lab experimenting with new biodegradable materials. They're trying to find that breakthrough that will reduce waste and really resonate with their customers. This is how you build a business that lasts. Okay, so we've got all our gears right: marketing, operations, finance, accounting, management, and R&D. But in a brand new business, who's actually turning all of them? Well, chances are it's you. And this really highlights the huge difference between a big company and a startup. In a huge corporation, you have whole departments full of people who specialize in just one of these things. But in a startup,
The founder is the marketing department, the finance department, and the R&D department, all rolled into one.
This is what we mean by wearing many hats. I mean, just look at this to-do list. In a single day, a founder might write social media posts. That's marketing. Then they'll go check on the first production run. That's operations. After that, maybe apply for a grant, finance, and log the day's sales, accounting. It's a lot. You're doing it all. So here's the main takeaway. A great idea is just the spark. To build a real fire, you need a solid business model, and you have to be able to execute across every single one of these functional areas. That's what turns a cool idea into a business that can actually succeed. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. Now that you know the main gears of the business machine, which one are you most excited to learn about? Which part of this amazing, complex machine are you going to try to master first?